I already know how disturbing 45's behavior has really been since he started squatting in the White House 3 years ago. But this so-called celebration of him being acquitted was more disturbing. Technically, even though he was acquitted, he's still an impeached squatter, and he's still fucking guilty. It's just that they didn't have enough evidence to prove they didn't have enough evidence basically to come forward and prove any further crimes that he probably did. The tip-off was the fake, breathy voice, call it Mr. Rogers on the dark side, that the squatter uses whenever he is pissed off, but wants us to think he's calm. He smiles and leans forward and then spews poisonous venom in a treacly tone. Although he called it a celebration of his acquittal in the Senate impeachment trial, 45's hour-long rambling in the White House on Thursday sounded more like a incriminating diatribe. 45 recapped the many investigations against him over the past 3 years and directed his vitriol at those he dared to oppose him. They are evil and sick people. Technically, he knows about being evil and sick because that's how he is. He's an evil bastard because he ripped off people and he wants to fuck his own daughter. That's evil, and then that also would describe him being sick too. Representative Adam Schiff, he called him a vicious, horrible person when 45 in reality is the evil, vicious person. And Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, also a horrible person, which 45 knows all about being horrible. Mitt Romney used religion as a crutch, 45 said after Romney cited his Mormon faith in his decision to become the only Republican senator in U.S. history to vote to remove a squatter of his own party. 45 went on and called the investigations into Russian intervention in the 2016 election bullshit, which it really wasn't. Even his decision to hold up the front page of the Washington Post displaying the headline 45 acquitted struck a sour note since it reminded the world that he's only the third U.S. squatter to be impeached, a process that has sown deep divisions in the country. Let's not forget the trial was rigged. His acquittal had been guaranteed by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell before it even began. Boasting about it was akin to former North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un bragging about the 11 holes in one he scored in the round of golf. Like Kim, 45 was not like most people. We would expect any other squatter in his circumstances to express relief and perhaps a little happiness before promising to heal the nation's wounds. 45, true to his defiance, chose to babble on about his years ago election victory and to curse his opponents and critics who would hardly know that he was a billionaire who occupied the highest office in the country and had just dodged a bullet in the size of a bunker buster. Instead of taking even a small measure of responsibility for a crisis that kicked off after he tried to enlist for an election to help in exchange for congressionally approved military aid for an ally at war, 45 demonstrated the pure essence of his narcissism and self-pity. At the celebration, he mostly played the victim as he complained it was dirty cops, it was leakers and liars. 45 knows all about being a liar since he's told over 16,000 lies since squatting in the White House. The disconnect between 45's sickly sweet demeanor and his vile words made my skin crawl, especially when he mocked two FBI agents who he called lovers and then declared them lowlifes. Yeah, 45's a lowlife piece of shit, alright. As he thanked his inbred family, 45 couldn't help but make it so all about himself as he always does. He summoned his daughter wife to the front of the room, where she had no choice but to give her father a big demonstrative embrace. His hooker wife came second, and although 45 didn't offer an apology for what she has endured of late, he pointedly insisted it was not at all his fault, which technically it is. In a display of dominance, 45 singled out two members of Congress whom he considered allies, and asked inbred Republicans, Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows, to speak up. The moment recalled the June 2017 Cabinet Room meeting where 45 asked that his top appointees offer him praise, one by one, and they did. Technically, there isn't anything to praise him about when he hasn't really done anything to help the community. This time, Representative Mark Meadows accepted the toady row, standing up to say that people across the country support the squatter, which I won't. The emotional dissonance, the creepiness, and the dominance all create a picture of a man who lacks the range of emotions like the rest of the U.S., like the rest of us experience. 45, who always appears to be putting on an act, doesn't seem to care that he hurts or humiliates others, as long as he gets some benefit out of it. His joy seems to come not from winning, as he did in the Senate proceedings, but from bending others to his will. Perhaps he will find some happiness when he reads Senator Sherrod Brown's piece in the New York Times claiming that many of his GOP of the Republican colleagues support him out of fear, which technically that's what it is. They fear going against him.